My name is Aaron DuRall. Alright guys, we are at the Bandwagon merchandise headquarters here in Kansas City, Missouri. This place has come a long way in a matter of, about 10 years. When I played in a band that dealt with these guys and they were printing our merch, it was actually under the name Monster Merchandise. These guys are screen printers as well as designers. They don't just print shirts and posters and stuff like that, they print a whole array of items. And I mean, they're guys that have had products, their products that they printed, whether shirts or more so stuff for decorations, posters, etc. They've had them in Urban Outfitters, Hot Topic. They've printed for every band realistically that you can imagine. What we're going to do is we're going to document a day in the life of these gentlemen and kind of their headquarters, their building, what they do when it comes to screen printing, as well as the details of the shop and things like that. And we're going to get going. So here we go. I was saving up to actually sleeve out my arm, and I had saved up about $1,000, and I was gonna go do that, and then I was just like, you know what, I actually for once have the money to get a camera. So just total rash decision, decided to run out to Best Buy that day without thinking about it, spent it on a Canon Rebel T2i, and from that moment on I was just absolutely hooked. And in the last 3.5 years I've really just fallen so deeply in love with it. I'd rather say it found me versus me finding it. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, from taking pictures of my wife to taking pictures of my family, then from my family to my friends. And then next thing I know, friends and family are saying, hey, you are actually really good at this, you should consider, doing some stuff. Okay, well, what friends will let me shoot their weddings for free? So we start shooting some friends' weddings here and there, some engagement photos for band members or, just regular friends, whatever. And then it just kind of went from there. Then people kind of started seeking us out, and that's when we realized, well, maybe there is, kind of something going here that we should explore. Taking a cue from Ryan Bernizer, and really love what you can do with live view. And ultimately what I'm doing right now, guys, is just trying to, show the details of this building, because it is a wickedly awesome building. I don't want to work for someone else. Like, realistically, I think that is kind of the dream anymore, is for someone to be able to work for themselves. If there is the American dream, that is it. To be able to live comfortably. I don't have to be rich. I don't have to have the nicest things. I don't have to, none of that's important, as long as I can live without worry. And that's where we're at, and that feels really great, and photography has helped so much to push us in there. We've got Christian here, the man of the hour, and here checking email, it looks like.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of shoot around in here, because obviously there's a lot of cool details in here Just again continuing to document what this place is, what all it has to offer, and just what they do. And anytime I can get a unique shot, I'm always going to try to take it. Like right now we've got Christian both right here and reflecting in this door, so I like to try to get anything that's like that, anything that can obviously add somewhat a cooler element to every photo, give it a little bit more dynamic. Again, this is kind of, like I was saying, live view really comes in handy to me. Love Canon, huge Canon fan. I'm not necessarily anti-Nikon or anything like that. Canon's just what works for us. However, with the 5D Mark II, you know, your best autofocus point is obviously your center point. You know, sometimes I think more than anything is the story. I really love to photograph people, but I love to photograph anything in general. I mean, whether it's an inanimate object, a building, a landscape, I love it all, but I love people, I love emotion, and I love reality. Weddings, there is just such a huge story to be told there, from the beginning of the day through the end of the day, and being able to document what are essentially some of the most important moments, arguably, in two people's lives, and not just them, but their family even, is a pretty huge honor. And it's a huge undertaking also on top of that, but I think the main reason that we're attracted to it, again, is the fact that it's really a story of a day and of two people in love, starting their union, starting their life together, hopefully for the rest of their lives. Everything has to be like a ridiculously creative shot. Sometimes simple is perfect. But if I can always shoot through something to make something a little more cool, give it a little more depth, then I will definitely do that. We saw this really weird thing happen. You know, last year was our first year shooting weddings, and because like I said, the truth is I haven't been shooting that long. We haven't been doing this real long. We're learning a lot as we go, but we had 4 weddings our first year. Well, flash forward to this past year, we ended up we're going to be doing 14 total by the time it's said and done. Our goal was to do 8. So to snowball from 4 to 14 is really cool, and it happened naturally. Through word of mouth, through people finding us online. Again, SEO, tagging has just played such a huge role with our website, and it's really helped us out immensely. Know that where we're at right now, we're in a really good place, and things, I don't want to jinx that, knock on wood, but we're really in a good place, and it's happening so much quicker than we could have imagined. Because when we first actually got into weddings, it's like, okay, cool, 5-year goal, let's be shooting 25 weddings in 5 years. I feel like we're going to be shooting 25 weddings next year. So that's one of those things that I don't know how, I don't know why, if it really is just as simple as search engine optimization, or if it's just that people are attracted to our work.
Well, it's okay, and it's alright.
Our style is definitely going to be more photojournalistic than anything. When I was going to school, like I said, I went to school for communications. My emphasis was public relations. In my last couple of semesters at Missouri Southern State University, I got involved with the Chart, and the Chart is the Southern's newspaper. I did some writing, but primarily my job was to take photos. So that was kind of my first introduction into photojournalism, and I really liked that aspect of photographing people in their natural element versus, you know, like really stiff, put up, posed, you know, situations. You know, I stumbled across a guy who everybody knows, Ryan Bernizer. I mean, if you're in wedding photography and you don't know who Ryan Bernizer is, you are living under a rock. But I just happened by chance to stumble across his work, and I was just totally just like, oh my God, like blown away by him. It's just like, this guy is doing something really, really, really unique, and he's taking what he learned as a photojournalist and he's applying it to his weddings. And it becomes one of those things, it's like, well, why can't I also take that same approach? And once we really started utilizing that, because our first 4 weddings were not like that at all. It was very much stacked with prom poses and everything like that, like really cheesy, to be honest. But after finding him and then finding this expansive network of awesome photographers, people like Sam Hurd, people like Sarah and Dylan, you know, these are what I like to call the popular kids, so to speak, within photography, and for good reason, because they do amazing work and they do work that really, really inspires other people like myself. And it was just kind of being inspired by their work and motivated by their work and my experiences with Southern that really kind of helped us connect and hone in on the way that we want to shoot weddings. New 5-year goal. Retired, living in Bora Bora. No, I'm joking. No, the next 5-year goal, man, is honestly to probably, we really love Joplin, we love the Midwest, and we'll always be home, but I think the 5-year goal is to have gotten out of our immediate area enough, to have traveled enough for enough weddings that we are no longer dependent on staying within Joplin, that we are able to move where we would really like to move, which is we really want to go to Colorado so bad. I mean, who doesn't want to live in Colorado, to be honest? But that is the goal, I think, is for us to hit that point where we know that we don't have to rely solely on our immediate location, that we can travel enough to support ourselves, and that we can break into those areas and enough to support ourselves and actually move away from home. Alright guys, y'all are doing perfect.
There's too many guys over here.
Alright guys, go ahead and have y'all just kind of line up single file next to each other. No specific order. I kind of give this just a second. I can work with this for a moment. May 22nd, 2011. Yes, we were there. It was hands down the worst day, I think, of probably anybody's life that lives in Joplin, and that was there to experience that. That was also one of those things, filming the aftermath of that, because that was 3 months after we bought that camera. 2 months after we bought the camera, wasn't it? Got the camera in March. No, got the camera in April. The tornado hit in May. So it was about, yeah, it wasn't even a full 2 months. So that was also one of my first real experiences, like shooting something on a documentary type level. And that was, as horrific as that event was, that event also really helped me realize even more the love that I had for photography and for documenting things.
Yeah.
The polyphonics break.
Alright guys. We're a ska band. Are we a ska band? Well, definitely the dancer. That is the best.
I call you weird. Sorry, Nate.
The dancer. Okay. I'll be the hype guy.
Go ahead and
Kelly plays trombone.
if you could, just for a couple, just hold. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Awesome. All right, sweet action. Get inspiration from music. I get a lot of inspiration from a gentleman named Ben Cooper, and his project is called Radical Face, and I'm a huge fan of this guy. My favorite songwriter, period. But I visualize so much when I listen to his music, and through those visualizations we get inspiration. Wes Anderson's another really big guy. His love of symmetry is something that I've really adopted for ourselves. Like we are really obsessed with symmetry in a lot of cases. Give me I don't know, everybody here has had some form of, I don't know, experience in the hardcore scene. So could I get Christian and someone else to hard style up front for me? I need some hard styles in there. There we go. That's exactly what we want.
Do we have a chalice anywhere?
Perfect, guys. All right, y'all bunch in there like you really love each other. Go ahead. There we go. Perfect, gentlemen. Oh yes, this is exactly what we want. All right, guys, come up a little bit closer. All right, and guys, seriously, y'all are awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. My name is Aaron DuRall. I am a wedding photographer from Joplin, Missouri, and I have just been framed.